Huh? Hello everybody. Hope you guys are doing well. So continuing on our journey. Today we would be continuing with our HTML CSS problems, and we'll solve another HTML CSS code, and then we'll break it down. So as what happened? Did something. Okay. So first let's build the HTML, and then once you have the HTML in place, then we'll apply the styles. So basically again, uh, so this is the main, right? And then this is like a card, and everything is column. So you have one advantage here. Then this is paragraph. This is bigger, right? So let's put this in H1. And then again, oh, so we have this contact thing as well at the bottom. Now these are two anchor tags, and even the font and color of them has to be gray. Even this has to be gray. Okay, and then this is like a background image to our container. Now this is going to be layered on top of the image, right? So we'll have to do some layering. Maybe this is on top of the image, so we'll have to perform some sort of layering that is going to kick in here. Once we have that image, uh, so this has to be layered properly on the image, because that is going to be an image tag, right? Okay, so let's. Oh, we are going to do everything on Code Sandbox. It's much more easier to control that, I think. Yeah, index.html. So let's go here. Let's get rid of this h1 here, and let's say this is. So I guess it takes time to refresh. Okay, now let's come inside the body, and let's have our main element here. Now inside main, we are going to have a wrapper, right? So inside that wrapper, we'll be having the tags. So first is my p. What does it says? UI space. Okay, UI design. Design. D is the only thing that is capital. Let's all this not. So design. Then let's have daily. Then let's add in an h1. So you do an h1. Oh, this is my first zero. Basically, we are doing redesigning an error page. Then I have another paragraph that's uh, okay. It can, you can have capital as well. It's going to be the same, but then try to have it in smaller words. That's the link you click may may be broken, or the page may. So now the HTML is coming there, and then let's now. Sorry, the paragraph has come in. Let's have a paragraph, and then let's write visit, and let's add in an anchor tag. So this is basically href. So right now we are not going anywhere. Let's put in this hash and say this is home page, and then let's add in let's add an anchor and let's add in an hash, and then let's say what happened to the t. Okay, let's have this a little bit caps or okay, it's contact me. So uh, by default it's going to, yeah. And then let's come to our styles. So let's first make everything colon. Let's adopt box sizing so let's make our uh, box sizing to be border box. And then now let's so we need this to be centered, right? So let's, if you go back to our body, so this is main, and inside that I have the wrapper, right? So what I can do is I can apply it to body. This is HTML element selection, and then let's make it display flex, and then let's do justify content center, align items center. Okay, and then let's give it a, so that it comes from top. So let's give it height. No, we don't want it to be. We just want, okay. Let's add in vertical centering as well. So let's do min, because right now up there is no space, right? So it's not going to push it down. Yeah, 100. Let's add in 100 view height. Let's do. Oh, what happened? Okay, so it has come down now, and the body is. Mm, okay. Let's give the body a background color so that this is by default, and then let's have our text, right? So text, let that be white, then we will override it. Okay, let's add little coloring. So let's come in, let's do let's add into root, right? Basically I'll be adding something to our root. Okay, this is single. This is first of all. Now let's add into our yeah, let's add our root. Okay, basically this is the colors, right? So let's change this to the gradient. To, let's add the root thing. So Okay, so the root is there. Now let's go to the main and give that. So main will have some. So we need to go to the main right now. Mm. Okay, so yeah, let's add the family as okay. Can do font, and then yeah, is it? Yeah, font family is primary, and then let's add font size. Again, that is uh, what's this to be code right? It says font size, and this is primary, and then yeah, that's all. Oh, the remaining font has become white. Okay, let's go to the link tag. Let's on the anchor first. So we go to anchor, and then we give it a color that has to be, so it has to be grayish. We see, yeah, it is. This is that anchor tag, right? Homepage. Okay, so we have your primary. So let's come here and change this to say primary, and then okay, it's kind of blending in that, and then let's do text decoration. You need to change that, right? So let's do text decoration, and then oh no, first is the cursor thing, right? The moment I take my arrow, the mouse, and it should be pointer. So this is pretty common thing. Cursor. Okay, let's work on the card. Mm. So pointer is there. So when is any, so when I hover it, that has to become pointer, and then mm, even the line below that comes, that has to be a little bit thick, right? So let's say, oh, we'll see that. We'll see that later on. So okay, let's work on the card. So our card is basically that contain. So this is the wrapper, and then we are going to have one more thing where we are going to say this is. I'm going to have this thing inside. So this, okay. Let's work on the card. So the card is the outer box, right? And then inside. Mm, Yeah, I need the elements to be flexed, right? But then there's to be inside wrapper, right? Hmm. Because everything is inside this. What is that? Is the image which is going to come. Okay, let's add something to H1. So by default, yeah, because the background is also the same, right? So let's go to H1. It was thick, right? So let's add in the font size. And then let's get back to our anchor. Then that should come, right? What's over? Oh, so 404 is here. How did this come? This is the main. This is P. So why is the color? This anchor is targeted, right? Oh, there is a clash. Then this has to be applied. Change this thing to symbol. Oh, okay, that's getting blended. Mm, where are we? It's not card as. Or the image is. Okay, okay, let's go back. Let's see the This image is something which I need to. Uh, this image. Oh no, you have to visit this link. Also, that is not part of the image. Mm-hmm. The image is only this much, and then see, it's black. I just added the system. Okay, so the text is little bit sticking. This is little bit down. That line. Okay. So in our anchor tag, we can give that thing as an offset. Okay, so let's come in text underline. Let's say this is, and then let's close this. Let's have the this, no, wait, sorry. Oh yeah. So we have given the offset, and then we give it a decoration. Like line thickness is what we are talking about. The text decoration thickness is okay. And then we need to work on this text, right? So can I, yeah, so I can have this wrapper and else we can work on that. So mm, yeah, so let's come on the, yeah, we'll see that later on. Let's have the wrapper in place. And then so this is the wrap. Oh no, and this is the first way. So we are talking about, yeah, this, and then this is going to be, yeah, I get. So this is first of type, and then color, right? Font size and color. So size is going to be, and let's have the color as well. So color is going to be gray. So color is basically primary. Okay. Now then the 404 has to be worked on. It has to be large. So let's get to H1. Did we work on the H1 itself? And the H1 has been taken care. Mm. Why isn't the text coming? Size is big. And does it, oh, I need to, like if I make this white, it's getting over, I don't know, it's getting blended. And then, does it over? And right now, let's have our color so that we can check the link. What's going to, and oh, that visited is whenever you click on, let's say anchor tag, and then that anchor tag has that issue, right? It changes. So let's set to anchor tag. Let's type in anchor tag. Oh, no, no. Oh, I see what's going to. Well, let's come back to our side. Yeah. So the moment you click right, the moment I click here, it's, or this thing, that red, that is when we click or when we say it is visited, right? Mm. Is that necessary? So, but so we want the, when we click the link as well, we want the, okay. And this is yeah, there is no this it's additionally. Okay, and now anchor is done. Paragraph p tag is done. Then if you go here, there is a background that has been added. Okay, so if you want, yeah, giving that over the wrapper is not a good option, right? Then you won't be able to layer it. So what we are going to do is we are going to do a, okay, we are going to have that pseudo element kicking in, so that yeah, so that we can have, so that so pseudo elements are basically going to come after the DOM has been found, right? So this is having like a different layered effect now. Okay, now instead of the primary color was supposed to be gray, right? Okay. No, wait, this has to be white. Okay, so now, oh, so now we need that background color as well of black to come in. So we're going to do, okay, so now we need that black color because everything has to be black. Okay, and then we're going to say width is 80 view width, and then so this has to be position relative, right? We're going to add a margin, like this has to be covered, right? Like, okay, yeah, this has to be, that circular thing has to come in. Oh, now I need to do flex in this card. So if I come here in the card and I do display, I need to align the inside contents, right? And then do, yeah, flex direction, and then justify it. Yeah, align, and then do align items center. Okay, has to be center aligned. The why have we done absolute? Okay, yeah, that's all for this session. We'll continue with this exercise in the next one. Till that time, take care. Bye bye.